Salutana Mikoi, I am Al, and this is Checks and Balance, episode 7. Congratulations, you made it this far. Now let me start this episode off by telling you one of the worst financial decisions I ever made in life. And the worst part about it is this. It only took me about 5 minutes to make it. All right, so let me take you way back. I mean like way back, like 20-year-old Al, me, way back. I'm 20 years old, working at Panera by Hanes Mall, like you make that, it's on the left, and that one over there by Hanes Mall, right? I'm working there, and for some reason, I get the bright idea to get an Xbox. Now, I'm a gamer, so, getting the latest console that's just what we do. So, I walk over on my lunch break to the Sam's Club across the street. That Sam's Club, the one Sam's Club, they got the Chick-fil-A over there, and right in front of it, that one, right next to the mall. So, I go over there, 1 o'clock, I say, hey, I want to get a credit card. And they say, hey, we'll give you a credit card. You're approved. And your limit is $300. Now, at the time, $300 is nothing, even to today, $300 is a lot of money. But when I was 20 years old, $300 was like $30,000. So what do? I say, yeah, I'll take that card. And I'm going to go take that Xbox back there. So I get in line. And by the time I check out, it's probably 1:05. I got there at 1 o'clock. 1:05 hits, and I'm walking out of that Sam's Club with an Xbox under my arm and a maxed out credit card. And look, I gotta be honest with you. This is not my finest moment, but I gotta be honest with you. I never made a payment on that card. And you know what happened? 2 years later, I get a call from collections. And they say to me, Mr. Morgan, you gotta pay us $750 now. Now think about it. I told you, I only paid $300 for the Xbox. And now because of interest and the fees and me not paying, now the cost ballooned to $750. So now I'm negotiating back and forth with the collection agency. And what we settled in on was me paying $400. And I did so, closed the account on that credit card, and I never looked back. At the time, I thought it was the smart move. You pay a little something, close the account, and you move on. But now, knowing what I know now, I would have done it a lot differently. And we're gonna talk about how I would have done that in this episode. But here's the thing, that experience with credit cards could have turned me off from credit cards forever. And for a lot of people, it does. But now that I know what the issue is, I'm realizing it's because I never learned how to use a credit card. So let's figure this out together. Credit cards have a reputation. And honestly, for a lot of people, that reputation is earned. Not because credit cards are inherently bad, it's because most people were handed one without instructions and just had to figure it out. But we need to reframe how we think about it. Because in the right hands, with the right habits, a credit card is not a debt trap. It's like any other tool, the outcome depends entirely on how you use it. I currently have 7 credit cards, and each one has a specific purpose. And I can tell you honestly, I haven't paid an interest payment on a credit card in years. And it's not because I don't use them, it's because I know how to use them. Oh, and one more thing, I haven't used my debit card in probably about 7 or 8 years. Everything goes on a credit card. Everything goes on a credit card for me. And at the end of the month, I pay those credit cards off and I stack those rewards. That's the game. And by the end of this episode, you'll understand why that works. Before we talk about anything else, I want this one thing to be established. We have to pay our credit cards off at the end of the month. That's non-negotiable. In order for this to work, you gotta do that. No minimum payment, none of that. We paying it all. This is the foundation. If you take nothing else from this episode, take that. Because the moment you start carrying a balance, the credit card companies start charging you interest. And credit card interest rates are not friendly. We're talking anywhere from 20 to 30% annually on whatever balance you're carrying. That wipes out every reward, every point, every benefit the cards offer, and then some. Now here's the good news. You don't have to remember to do this manually. Every major credit card company has an app, and inside that app, you can set up auto pay for the full statement balance every month. Set it up once, and it runs in the background. The balance gets paid in full automatically, and you never have to think about it. And here's where YNAB comes into the picture. Remember in episode 2 where we talked about connecting all of our accounts? When you connect your credit card to YNAB, every transaction that you make on the card will show up in real time. YNAB automatically moves the money from your spending category over to your credit card payment category. So when the bill comes, the money's already there sitting, waiting. You're never surprised. You always know exactly what you owe and whether you have the funds to cover it. The budget and the credit card work together instead of against each other. That's the beauty of the system. But I want to be straight with you. This is only for my disciplined folk. And I hope that's you. I know it's you. I know it's you. If you're not in a place right now where you can consistently pay off your full balance every month, then credit cards as a reward tool may not be for you just yet. Come back to this episode whenever you're ready. Get the budget right, get the debt under control, get your system running, then revisit this. There's no point in chasing rewards while you're paying 25% in interest. The math just doesn't add up. All right, for those who are ready, let's talk about how credit cards can be used to your advantage. Here's my philosophy, and you might want to write this down. Here it is. If you're gonna spend your money anyway, you might as well get something for it. Groceries, gas, bills, why let that spending go unrewarded? There are two categories of rewards worth understanding. The first is cash back. You spend money, you get a percentage of that back. Simple. Some cards offer flat rate cash back on everything. Others offer higher percentages in specific categories. Groceries, gas, dining. The key is matching the card to how you actually spend. If you spend a lot on groceries, find a card that rewards grocery purchases. If you spend a lot on gas, find one that rewards that. Don't pick a card based on how it sounds. You gotta pick a card that fits your lifestyle. The second is travel points, and this one changed my life. You accumulate points on every purchase and redeem them for flights, hotels, sometimes both. I've taken trips where points covered the entire cost. Flights and hotels paid for what points I earned. At a certain point, it started to actually feel like I was stealing in the best possible way. The key with travel points is actually using the points. Learn how your card's reward program works and be intentional about using what you earn. And speaking of points you didn't know you had, let me tell you a quick story. When I got my credit card through the credit union, I had no idea I had rewards points. Nobody ever told me. I just used the card and never thought about it. And then one day I actually looked and I had thousands upon thousands of points just sitting there. I had been earning points for years without even knowing it. I searched the website and I found what I wanted and I cashed in my rewards immediately. And I walked away with 2 $500 cashback cards. And I took that $1,000 and put it into my high yield savings account, which we're gonna talk about in a future episode, so hold that conversation right there. Here's the lesson in all that. You gotta know your card and what it offers. Read the fine print, check the rewards portal. You might be sitting on something right now and not even know it. If you want help in learning how to decipher what credit card works for you, I have a website for you. I used to use NerdWallet. They are a great resource about comparing and contrasting different cards and giving you kind of a great idea of what may suit you as a card user. So check them out when you get a chance. NerdWallet.com. I want to address store credit cards real quick because I have personal experience with them and I have strong feelings about them as well. The Sam's Club card that I got at the beginning of this episode, that was a store card. And in hindsight, despite the fact that I maxed out that card in minutes, that was the wrong card for me in the first place. Store cards are almost always a bad deal. The interest rates are typically higher than regular credit cards. The rewards only apply to purchases at certain stores, and they're designed to be applied for impulsively at the register, which is exactly what happened to me. My advice to you, never take a card at the register. A credit card is something you need to think about, you need to take your time and pick the right one for you in your journey. So don't, when you get in line, don't. Now I wanna come back to something I mentioned at the top. Now my mistake was when I had that credit card from Sam's Club, settling out, and the fatal mistake was this. I closed the card. Now I know I should not have done that, and I'll tell you why. Here's what I didn't understand then. One of the factors that affects your credit score is the length of your credit history. The longer your account has been open, the better. Closing an account, especially one that you've had for a while, can actually hurt your credit score because that shortens your average credit age. The better move in most cases is to pay the balance down and keep the card open. You don't have to use it. You can put it in a drawer, but keeping it open and in good standing works in your favor over time. We're going to go deeper into exactly how your credit score is calculated in the next episode. But I want you to have that piece of information because it ties directly in how you manage your credit cards. Now, one more thing before we close, and this is important. Your credit utilization ratio is one of the biggest factors in your credit score. Utilization is simply how much of your available credit you're using at a given time. The rule of thumb is to keep it under 30% across all your cards combined. So if your total credit card limit across all your cards is $10,000, you want your total balance to be under $3,000 at any given time. The lower the better. Some people shoot for under 10%, and that's great if you can manage it. This is another reason why paying your balance in full every month is so powerful. When that balance hits zero, your utilization hits zero, and that's good for your credit score. I want to zoom out for a second because I think there's something worth acknowledging. I started off as a 20-year-old kid at a Sam's Club trying to get an Xbox. That 5-minute decision took me years to clean up. And I want you to know that that story doesn't have to define you because it didn't define me. Today, those same financial tools that once buried me are working for me every single day. Travel paid for with points, cash back on groceries, 7 cards, 0 interest, full balances paid automatically every month. Haven't touched a debit card in years. That's not luck, that's God's wisdom and understanding the tools and how to use them the right way. And you can do it too, and now you know how. All right, your homework for this week. Your credit cards. Are you being effective with them? Do you know that you have points? How many points do you have? What are your rewards? Go check that stuff out. They change sometimes. Maybe you have more stuff that you may not know about. Do the research. Go to NerdWallet if you need some help. Compare and contrast. All right, before we get out of here, I want to say one more thing. Rest in peace to Tony C. I only met Tony once at an event at Pancakes and Booze down in DC. He was an artist. He was there with Jada. And I remember seeing those two bouncing around the event. And I was like, who are these people? The way that they looked at the art, they had so much joy and energy and love between the two of them. I'm like, who are they? And I finally got to meet them. And they were two of the most amazing people I ever met. I've only met them once, but they had such good energy that they affected me. I bought some art from them. I actually started watching their YouTube channel, The Doper Show. And I followed them on social media and I got to kind of know them through that. But just that one meeting with the both of them, I distinctly remember how they made me feel and how Tony made me feel, how Jada made me feel. And I want to honor that and say, rest in peace, Tony. You will not be forgotten, man. Prayers to your family. I see your mother online. She's a woman of faith. I pray that everyone has peace in this moment. That's it, man. Rest in peace, brother. As we always end the show, you have to like, subscribe, follow Jesus, because that relationship is way more important than anything I'm gonna say in this video. And also, what you see is what you get. And I hope what you see is beautiful. This is Al. This is Checks and Balance. Gis la revito. Go Bears.